Welcome to Pera's Playbook. This is your host, Alex Pera. Let's open up our playbook and see who our guest is. Please enjoy. Welcome to episode 183 of Pera's Playbook. Today we're joined by Greta Vianden. She's a thrower with the Lawrence University track and field team. We've had a few Lawrence athletes on in recent months, so happy to add Greta to that list. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Are you having a good summer so far? Are you in a training period or are you in a like taking a break, resting period?
We currently just got done with our academic year. Our academic spring term ended on Thursday this week. And technically we are in a little bit of a break period right now just to I don't know, get the bodies resting before in 2 weeks when we start back up in our off-season training period again. So that's the kind of deal right now.
I feel like one of the other Lawrence athletes told me this, but was Lawrence on trimesters?
Yes, we are.
Ah, okay. Because I know most universities ended, back at like early May or mid-May, and yeah, if you're on trimesters, that'd be
Yeah, it's a little bit of a struggle to see everybody get to go home and then stay in school. So,
yeah, it's kind of a grind. All your friends are hanging out at the
yep,
beach already, and
exactly.
well, let's go back to kind of talk about your recruiting. And, why you chose Lawrence. I mean, did you have an easy recruiting journey? Was it extra stressful? How was it for you?
I did actually have a pretty easy recruiting journey as of the whole recruiting process and getting in contact with coaches. So I was recruited by a couple other D3 track and field programs. I was recruited for UWL, their Stevens Point, and just a few others like Luther, that which is actually now joining our conference in 2026. But I thought it was actually pretty easy the way Lawrence recruited anyway. They were very heavily invested in trying to get me out to Lawrence to visit their new facility that they had just built. So that was actually probably the easiest part, I would say.
Yeah, and Appleton's a nice area. I
Yeah.
would imagine it's a nice place to go to college. I mean, you're at a smaller school, and you've got to get this. It's not a big city, but there's plenty of things to do. Yeah, it's just a nice area. Where I am in Michigan, Appleton's like 4 hours away, so like
Yeah.
it's a not too far of a drive to go down and hit up the mall or go to a Timber Rattlers game or
Oh, yeah.
whatever. I mean, there's plenty of stuff to do, so I think it'd be a nice college town.
I definitely agree with that. That's one of the things that kind of like stood out to me. So I'm from La Crosse, Wisconsin, so it's actually really similar to Appleton. I really liked the kind of smaller appeal, but it's also nice just like to be on the river. That's something that was also nice to have, I guess, for me, even though it's not really used for recreation, just nice to look at, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I've always liked water. Like just sitting
Oh,
and watching rivers and streams and just like sitting by a lake and like I don't know, there's something calming about it. Like you said, even
yeah,
if you can't recreate, just the sound of the water rippling or whatever, it's very
yeah,
relaxing.
it is.
Well, let's dive into throwing. So
Okay.
you have done a variety of throwing at Lawrence, shot, disc, hammer, javelin. In Wisconsin, did you guys have hammer and javelin in high school? Because in Michigan, we did not.
No, we didn't either. We just had shot and disc.
Okay, so when you got to Lawrence, did you kind of have to learn those right off the bat?
Yeah, it was kind of a struggle to get thrown into that many new events, as well as keeping up with the rest of the events. Of course, in the fall, we don't start right away. We start heavily with conditioning and strength training. But yeah, definitely in the winter and spring, getting kind of thrown into those events right away was a grind for sure, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, I really like both of those events now too. So yeah, it's great. I really like the opportunity to be able to kind of juggle all of that, especially because track and field is kind of just like there's so many opportunities in like multi-sport athletics that you get to kind of delve into. So yeah, that's one thing I really appreciate.
It's interesting what there is and isn't in high school. Like I mean, it makes sense that when you get to college, certain races are longer. Like the 300 hurdles move to the 400 hurdles, like that makes sense. But some of these events that they don't have in high school, and then you get to college and you have to learn them, I find interesting. Maybe other states, more populated states, they have some of these events. But I was talking to my former track coach. This year I did a lot of starting in high school track, and I was at a meet, we were talking, and there was a kid who was pole vaulting who got hurt. And they were kind of saying how some people think that pole vault should just be kind of kicked out of track because it's too dangerous. Not a lot of kids do it
Yeah.
anymore. And he said he'd be happy if they booted out pole vault and then they had javelin, added in
Yeah.
javelin for high school. Which, I mean, I think that would be I see there is a danger to pole vault
Hmm.
if you're not doing it properly. I've noticed it in recent years there are less kids that seem interested in it. You have to have mats and all this
Right.
extra stuff, and yeah, if you added in javelin, that would give throwers another event that they can do, preparing them for college.
Right. I think it goes both ways too. Like the whole like danger thing with I feel like they honestly probably consider more the level of like I don't know maturity that these kids are at. Like if they get a big huge spear with like a really pointy thing at the end, are they going to mess around with it or but definitely I think I really would have appreciated having javelin in high school but just because of how technical it is and like it's going to be really difficult to get it's all like throwing has always been sort of a thing that's come pretty natural to me but javelin is just it is very very technical and it's proven very difficult just because of how many things are going on at once so yeah, I think that's also something that javelin's probably one of like the just the most technical in like body formation and where your body needs to be at. It's also hard to get your shoulder to fully extend like that when you haven't done it before. So yeah. Also, the one of the things they do is it's heavily like injury prone, is why they typically don't as well with the danger. There are a lot of shoulder injuries that get pretty severe just because of javelin. I have a teammate who his main event was javelin, and he was ranked first in the conference. And then he had a bunch of things happen to his groin straining, to multiple ligament strains in his shoulder, and rotator cuffs, just because of how difficult it really is on your body. So that's probably also a factor. But I would have liked it in middle school or in high school.
Yeah, right. There's definitely going to be two sides to the story. Like people could bring up that injury factor, but then you could also bring up how technical it is and how that would just give you like a huge head start when you get to college. And so there's going to be two sides to the story. But I think what you're saying there was about kind of how grueling it is and how difficult it is. I mean, that just I feel like sometimes people look down on track and they look down on track
Yeah.
athletes, right? Like, oh, it's a non-contact sport, and you're not going to get hurt, like all this stuff. It's like, well, there's a lot of really incredible athletes in track doing
Mhm.
things you could never dream of. I mean, you watch hurdlers, really good hurdlers glide over a set of hurdles. If you look at throwers and the perfect form, people high jumping, pole vault, all this stuff. And it is dangerous. There's a lot of dangerous events in track. You can hurt yourself. I mean, when you're giving it all for a sprint, I mean, you can pull a muscle if you're not stretching properly. If you're pole vaulting, you can hurt yourself and everything you mentioned with javelin. So I don't know why track kind of gets the look down. I
Yeah.
loved track in high school. I love watching track. Like when the NCAA nationals are on TV. I mean, that's awesome to watch.
Oh, me too. Yeah. I love watching that kind of stuff. I think if you ask any collegiate or any level track athlete, honestly, they would tell you the same thing. It's like, oh, I don't understand the hate that it's not necessarily hate, but lack of credit that track athletes get. It's kind of in almost, I have a couple other friends from high school that also run collegiate track, and they kind of have the same problem with just that feeling of like getting like being recognized even when like they're working so hard, records are being broken, but it's still not that as interesting to watch as like high school or college volleyball or football per se, something like that. So I feel like that is a very common like misconception or thing that people overlook is how much effort really gets put into it. It's the same as like any other collegiate sport, I would say. I really do enjoy watching. Maybe it's just a personal preference, but watching things like high jump and other jumps, it's just so exciting to like, or like pole vault, get somebody, see them clear a bar. It's like almost like the suspense is really fun. So
Yeah, and then when they clear the bar and they're just so fired up, they're jumping
yeah.
around. I mean, like, yeah, track is an awesome sport. There's so much to watch. You can't see everything. Like if you're
Right.
overwatching the throws, then you're gonna miss some running event, or if you're overwatching something else, like especially in high school when most track meets are just one day, they're a couple hours long, so everything is happening at once. So you have to like
Right.
pick what you're gonna watch.
Right. Yeah, like kind of that's something spectators say a lot too, is like the running around is kind of exciting. So, and that's what I like to do. I like to cheer. I like to try to get around when I'm not competing to watch all of my teammates because it's really fun to see like even when we're at practice and you see them doing the stuff they do, but once you get into competition setting to see that kind of like click in their brains and it's really interesting to see. So, I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk kind of about like throwing form versus strength. I feel like there's
Mhm.
a stereotype, and there's always been a stereotype that throwers, like if you're looking at men's throwers in high school, people are like, they're all the offensive linemen on the football
Oh
team.
yeah.
They're all these big guys, and that's like totally a false stereotype. Um, when I was in high school, there was a kid. He ended up running Division II distance at Wisconsin Parkside, but he would throw discus along with his running events, and he would place top six at most of the high school meets. So, I mean, he was going to college for distance, but he could still place for discus. He was a
Yeah.
very skinny kid. I mean, he's skinny, muscular, but still not what people would say is your stereotypical thrower.
Yeah. I think that's definitely something that people, yeah, obviously that's a very big stereotype in the throws for sure. I think it goes honestly both ways. Like you can't have one without the other type of thing. So you can't have the technique, but have also no strength, and you can't just muscle it. So that's definitely a thing that I also struggle with. Like just being on the not a strong end, but being possibly having the ability to be more technical. So that's something I'm always working towards with coaches is strength training, good nutrition, building all of those things. But yeah, I'd say it definitely is. You can't have one without the other. So like you're saying, like this super skinny kid, that's something also that really helps is having those long levers, long arms and legs is extremely important in discus and javelin, just having that long muscle retention and being able to move your body quickly. So it's definitely also something people overlook is how technical the sport really is. The only thing I can compare it to is something like a golf swing or I don't know, a gymnast move and how your body needs to be in these exact places at the exact right moment. Otherwise, the throw is just garbage or something like that. So that's something that is also, you have to have a kind of a cool head to be able to be in this sport. Don't get me wrong, all throwers have that kind of aggression that comes with throwing a heavy metal object. So but being able to last a practice, a 2, 3 hour practice where you're not having a great day and the strength's not coming in or the technique isn't right. It's just something about the day and there's back to back to back really bad throws and you just can't seem to get your foot down or you can't seem to keep your chest up or it's something in hammer and your release is weird. It's just like something like that where it's really easy to be able to get down on yourself, especially when things like because it's just such a technical thing and it can't be perfect. So it almost never is. So you kind of have to just deal with that part of the technique. But also, yeah, the Strength is a really, really big thing, of course. So we strength train a lot. We have a lot of heavy lifts. Our coach has she pushes us very, very, very hard. It's sometimes almost unbearable. But yeah, that's something I definitely I would say that is something that people say. Like even in my friends are always like, "Oh, are you bulking for shot put?" It's like, "No, I'm not bulking." But yeah, so
That would be another similarity to golf. You're talking about like having a bad day, right? Your throws are just off. I mean, like golf, and it's so easy to get pissed off. And then when you get pissed off, then it's even off more because now you're
right.
not mentally there and you're all tight and tense. And that's totally how golf is. You go, you take a swing, and your swing is off. You shank it into the woods, and that now you're angry and you're getting all
Yep.
tight and tense. And of course, your next swing is going to be off, and it's just a snowball effect.
Yeah.
That's a really good analogy, like a golf swing and and throws. And I feel like people look at throwers, at least in high school, I remember people, the throwers are lazy. Like, oh, they're
Right.
not running, they're not doing that, they're lazy, they don't have to work as hard. But if you don't see that like behind the scenes work of trying to get that technique just right, then you really wouldn't understand. Like,
Right.
yeah, maybe if all you notice is the fact that they're not running laps with everyone else and they're just off doing whatever, maybe you would think they're lazy. But if you actually took a peek behind the curtain and saw what they were doing or tried to do it yourself, and I feel like most of
Yeah.
the people that judge throwers have never thrown themselves or have never competed in track, whatever it is.
Right, especially that is a great point because especially as like a female thrower, that's something that I get a lot is like, oh, a man comes up to me saying, "Oh, give me a shot put. I could chuck that." It's like, well, you could, but it would probably look pretty ugly and you'd probably strain something just because about it's so hilarious to me like all of the things that people say like even sometimes I'll get it from I don't know, other athletes. It's like, oh, well, that's not something that, well, I know as a basketball player, I used to play basketball in high school. Like, you don't just become a good shooter through like game time practice. It's like reps on the gun, reps with your teammates. It's something that is it's worked up. Like I didn't just get into throwing, say, oh, this looks cool. I bet I could do it. It looks easy. I'm able to be lazy and I could be a good athlete. So it's like that's something that you never say. It's like, oh, this athlete is lazy and they're an amazing athlete. So that's just something so weird to me. And also the conception that throwers don't run. They make us run. We run quite a bit. This is something that me and my teammates and my coaches joke about all the time. There's a like I maybe had a little bit of these conceptions too when I got into college. Oh, it's not going to be that hard. Like I do this. I've done this for years. I know what I'm doing. It's not going to be that big of a like a shift to college athletics. And I get there. It's like week one. It's 6 a.m. We're conditioning and we're running hard. And our coach tells us we're doing slingshot. So it's where you are on the track, you're running around, and one person runs in front of the line, and you just go like that, and you run around like that, the track. And we were like, all right, how many reps are we doing? Like, what percentage are we going? She's like, oh, you're going to go about probably 67%. And then but if you're dogging it, like, we're going to go again. And then we're like, okay, how long are we doing it? She's like, oh, till the runners are done with their workout. So we were running for quite a bit. There was people on the ground and like it was terrible. So we do we do run quite a bit. So
We're out here debunking all the myths about
yep.
throwers, crushing the stereotypes, and putting the truth out there for everyone to
Yes.
hear.
Yes, exactly.
Do you have a favorite throwing event?
I it's between two at the moment. I have really, really started to enjoy hammer. I just got um, a collegiate PR of 40 meters, 40:24, which was a big PR for me. And that seats me eighth in the conference currently. So that was a big, that was a big push for me. I've been training for that kind of all year long, kind of trying to get that 40 mark. And also javelin has become a new favorite. So I currently hold um, no, I'm at a 20. 25.65 is, I believe, is what my mark was. So that I don't know what that ranks in conference, but that was a big mark for me too. At those were both at our conference meet, is what I got those. So those are my two new favorites. I was always a discus thrower for the longest time. I That was my favorite, but it's been debunked. It's gone to third.
So that would have been one of your last meets here, your conference meet at the end of
Yes.
the season. Well, that's a perfect way to like
Yeah.
go out into the off season, go out on a high,
Mhm.
and now you've got some new goals for next year, some new PRs to break.
Yeah. I was like, it was really difficult getting into that meet being the last one because I was like, shit, well, now I'm not gonna get it. I'm gonna have to wait till next year. I was like, it was the couple throws. The first throws I ended up hitting like high 30s, 37s, 38. I was like, damn, I'm not gonna get it. Like this is gonna suck. And then I ended up making it to finals. I just got in. I just ended up. So the how it works for throws is that top nine in the preliminaries. So there's preliminaries and then there's a final event. So just like running events, they take the top nine marks and they go to finals. So I ended up getting eighth in prelims. So I got the opportunity to throw in finals, but at that point I was just dogging it. I was exhausted. So I ended up just breaking that 40. And then I was, oh, okay, now I can just I can just work on form. So that was the thing that was a really big thing for me. And I had all my teammates there supporting me, and that's something that is unmatched when you get to college athletics. Is that support from your teammates is something I didn't have in high school, especially with those kind of stereotypes about throws. It's not interesting, but all of my teammates came to support and were cheering me on, and that's something that is just unmatched when like having that pushes you to go the extra mile when you have all those people supporting you. So
Yeah, that's awesome. I would have to admit that when I did high school track, I don't know if I ever watched our throwers, like
I see I wouldn't either. If I was a runner, I would be preoccupied with my own thing and then getting out of there. So yeah,
I like
for
to stay for the whole meet, like especially if it was like a meet that wasn't that far away and um or whatever, maybe your parents weren't there so they weren't like, "Come on, it's time to go." Like we're sick of sitting out here. Um I liked the whole meet. I mean, I think the 4x4, like the 2 mile, are
yes.
some of the best events, and most people are gone by then. Like the four by
Mhm.
four is such a when you've got a good 4x4 and you've got neck
Yeah.
and neck runners just giving it their all. um yeah, I noticed kids don't stay around track meets as much. I feel like when I was in high school, like we would all congregate down on like the corner as a team, and you'd be just hollering and screaming for that 4x4, and it was
Yeah.
exciting, one of the most exciting events of the meet. But most people are gone home in their pajamas
Yeah.
eating ice cream on the couch.
See, I agree with that. That's something that I always loved in high school was watching the 4x4 because I had so many friends doing it. And now being able to be kind of in that position where like everybody stays because it's kind of the event to watch at the end of the meet. Everybody's exhausted. You're all tired. You want to go home, but you want to stay for that 4x4 because it's so high energy. That's something I really like. Our 4x4 teams were honestly, they're pretty great to watch too because of how much effort they put in on those events. So, and yeah, we all kind of make a circle around the track. So everybody, like throughout the whole thing, you have somebody cheering you on. So, yeah, it's really fun.
Really grueling race. I'm just
Oh,
gutting it
yeah.
out for a lap, sprinting. I mean, it's truly is. And then, I think the hurdles, 400, 300 hurdles, that might be the hardest race in track,
Yeah.
just because
Oh, yeah.
you're sprinting, you're full out, and you're jumping for a whole
Mhm.
lap. It's just,
And you could just see it in their face. It's like the pain, but they just want to keep going. I have a bunch of friends that or a bunch of collegiate athletes that I know that run the 300 hurdles, and it's just like they hate it, but they love it at the same time. So,
yeah, I did it my senior year of high school. I had done like distance running, and I never really was that great at it. We didn't have a lot of hurdlers, so I was like, I'm gonna try hurdling, and I ended up loving it. I mean, the same thing you said, it's horrible. You hate it when coach is like, yeah, you're gonna do like 8 or 10 reps of 300 hurdles today in practice, and you're just like, oh,
yeah.
shoot me now. But
Yeah.
there's also something fun, really fun about it. I feel like hurdlers, you're kind of in your own club. Like we're on like our little hurdle club, and I really wish I would have done it for more of high school. I wish I would have started it earlier, because it was a ton of fun.
Yeah, I think hurdles is something that like that's also like props to hurdlers because that is something that is so hard. It's such a mental game, like running full speed at a hurdle and jumping over it with also like the fear of, oh, I'm gonna clip it and I'm gonna fall. So that's something that those people have like extreme perseverance and grit and like just like a practice you hear like so many times you fall over a hurdle. I don't think there's a hurdle that would be able to tell you, no, I've never clipped a hurdle and I've never fallen, like eat shit and eaten shit in front of absolutely everybody. So that is something that is just it's awesome to watch them be able to keep going after that. So I don't think I could do that.
And if a hurdler, especially a college hurdler, like once you get to that level, you've been hurdling for your whole career. If you've probably never eaten shit, then you must not be working that hard to
Right.
practice. Or
You're
like
probably not doing it right.
well, let's talk some non-track. Like,
Oh
I know
yeah.
college athletes, right? You don't have the most free time in the world to do your hobbies, but when you do have some free time, like, what do you like to do for fun?
I am, especially when I'm home, I am a big cook. So I love to cook, bake, practice like almost everything. I like something that's really hard for me is I absolutely hate dining hall like food. And it's really hard for me to go like weeks on end without like cooking anything. Sure, like we have our own stoves and stuff in our like dorms, in the dorm hall, but it's disgusting. Like I would not be able to touch that stove without like wincing looking at it. So that's something I really like to do. I like to bake for my family. Anybody that knows me pretty well knows that I bake multiple times in the week. I love to cook. I love to go grocery shopping and getting food that I'm excited to cook and looking at recipes online, cooking shows, kind of everything that kind of falls into that. Yeah, I really enjoy also. I love just being outside is something, especially like as a track athlete, I can't go a day. Like that's why indoor season is so hard for me because you're in the same place all the time. I love to be out in the sun. So yeah, those are some big hobbies when I have the time to do them.
Do you have a favorite celebrity chef?
Um, shoot, I don't know. I grew up on Martha Stewart, and but I would say, shoot, what's his name? Paul Hollywood. He's a UK cook and baker. So I really like the show. I don't know if you know a Great British Baking Show. That's a show that I really love to watch. And he's one of the co-hosts on that. So I've been watching them for quite a bit. So
My favorite celebrity chef is Bobby Flay. I love
oh yeah,
watching Beat Bobby Flay. It's my favorite cooking show. Even though I think sometimes it's kind of rigged because, he's Bobby Flay. And yeah, I mean, I feel like they just give somebody a win every few episodes to make it interesting.
yeah. I
Um,
love the drama of those shows, like the Hell's Kitchen parts too. I love those.
yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Gordon Ramsay. I mean, he's great, and although I feel like he actually is a really nice guy, and he just
Yeah,
puts on that persona for like the shows where he's kind of a jerk.
yeah,
But I feel like if you were just to like sit down with him and have a conversation, or if you got like a one-on-one cooking tutorial with him in your kitchen, like he'd actually be a sweet guy.
right. He's like that in the kids shows too. Like the adults, he like tears them to shreds. But like the Master Chef kids, like he's such a sweet guy. It's hilarious to watch that like flip.
Yeah, he's got like a Jekyll and Hyde thing going on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
What about music? Are you big into music? You like music?
I am big into music. I think it's also kind of that persona that all throwers like heavy metal and rock and whatnot, and most of my teammates do. But I would say I'm more on like the mellow side. I'm on a big Bob Marley kick right now. I don't know if it's just like the weather's getting warmer and I'm listening to all of like those kind of songs. But yeah, I'm a big music person. There's like rarely a time that I'm not listening to music, especially like Most of my day consists of like either being here doing working or at the gym. So like music is a big thing. I'm listening to music quite a bit.
Yeah, I hate silence. Like
Me too.
I don't want to be sitting in my living room at home and just like there's no noise. Like, if the TV's
Right,
not on, there's got to be
right.
music. Can't be in the car without music because then
Oh
I'm worried
no,
that like I'm gonna hear
my
something or
skin would crawl if
it's
I was in
horrible.
a car without music.
So, are you on board with the metal like throwers and rock and all that or no?
I mean, I am during practice. It gets me amped up, but I don't think I'm a pretty calm person. So I like it's a little bit like when there's so much going on, like and I'm just trying to like sit and I don't know, just sit and chill. I probably won't choose the heavy metal, but it's like most like my coach when we ask her to put on music, it's like it's a lot of heavy metal and all of my teammates, it's like all they listen to. You can hear it through their headphones when we're lifting. It's like they're trying to talk to them and like they can't hear a word. So yeah.
I've always liked heavy metal. I'm all over with my music. Like I love I mean, just like good rock, classic rock, but I also like the metal that they scream, you can't hear the
Yeah.
words. But like right now, I'm on a more of a mellow kick with summer too. Like I've been vibing to some like yacht rock and like,
Yeah.
summer's here. So yeah, I get both sides of it, you know. I can't tie myself down to one type of music. Some
No.
people like I only listen to country, I'll listen to nothing else. It's like,
Right.
well,
My playlists are absolutely all over the place. Like
yeah.
I playlists for like different things, but there's not like one specific genre of a playlist. So,
Yeah. Variety's the spice of life.
yep, it is.
What about traveling? Do you like to travel?
I love to travel. So I am a European citizen. My dad is from Germany and he moved here during college, met my mom. And then I ended up living there a couple years or in Germany when I was 10, 11, 12. So I gained citizenship through that. We have family over there. We try to visit as much as we can, but it gets pretty expensive trying to get over there a bunch. So yeah,
Yeah,
I love
that's
to travel.
cool. Do you have
Mm.
a dream like travel destination?
I have never been to Australia. I think that would be a pretty cool thing, like the whole like down under vibe. That's a big thing for me. Also, like with the whole new like the raves about like Dubai and stuff like that, about how cool it is. I think it'd be cool to travel to the UAE, but I don't know. There's a lot of places that would be really cool, I think. Oh shoot, I don't know. I've never been to where have I never been? I think I think that going to a place like Japan would be also pretty cool just to like see like the whole um other like New York side of things. I've never been to New York, which is a place that like I've traveled a lot of places around the world, but the US, I have not been to many states. So I kind of stay in the Midwest area.
Yeah. There's so many places I want to travel. There's not enough money or
Oh yeah.
time to get to all of them. I mean, you mentioned how plane tickets, right? They're just so expensive,
It's so
especially international travel. Usually I
inter-
feel like once you get over to places, like the hotels aren't horrible and like that, but it's getting there.
yeah.
Like four
It's
thousand dollars for tickets or
Yeah, it's a grind, especially like, and it just takes so long to get there. Like the plane rides, like the 16 hours, the 12
hmm
hours. Like I, I am a very, like I can't sit still for that long. And I also can't sleep on planes. So it's like being trapped in an insane asylum, watching thousands and thousands of movies. Like you watch 12 movies being on those flights, you get so bored. But yeah, once you get there, you kind of bounce around because everything is, especially in Europe, everything's just so close. So yeah, that's nice. But obviously, as a college student, I don't have the funds to get over there. So
Yeah, I don't know how people do it. There was this kid who was a few years older than me. And I think when he graduated from college, he and his buddies ended up going to Europe for like 3 weeks or something,
Oh
like
no.
traveling all over. Like,
So
how do you
cheap.
afford that?
That's gotta be upwards $10,000 you're spending on plane tickets alone. So
Yeah, I don't know. I see so many people travel like, nonstop. People that are still in college, and I'm looking at them, and like every couple months they're somewhere else awesome. And I'm like, what?
right,
Like, I don't know how you can
right.
afford that. I don't know.
I feel like it would be so cool to have like a job that allows like so much travel, like one of those shoot, what's it called? Like those registered nurses who are like travel nurses and stuff like that. I know a couple of people that want to go into that kind of career, but yeah, that would be, I think that's something that I definitely I would need to take to an adult life once I have more money, being able to travel places. So yeah.
Be a cruise ship doctor or something.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Oh, that cruise ships or something like cruise ships freak me out. Like being on like a body of water for so long and then just seeing blue when you look out the window, I think I'd throw up. So,
Yeah, I don't know how I'd feel about that either. Like, uh, I don't get, like seasick if I'm on like a small boat or like zipping around a lake or something, but yeah, when you just know that land is nowhere to be seen,
right.
and right, then you start thinking like the Titanic or something, and your brain starts tweaking out. Or
Yeah, you're like, how far are we from the nearest like person on land that could help us if something goes terribly wrong? That's what I would think about. Also, like the on social media, like those creepy TikToks and Instagram reels where like they're like it's like the commercial fishermen on these huge, like big boats. I don't know what side of TikTok I'm on, but I get these videos all the time, like these huge, huge boats that like these huge waves are crashing into like I would lose my shit. It would be horrible.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that either.
Mhm.
Um, Being one of those like travel influencers, that's the way to go.
Oh
Like where you're
yeah,
like sponsored and you just travel around and you do like travel vlogs, and I feel like that
right,
would be cool.
right. I don't even know how you get into that though. Like
I don't
how to be
know.
an influencer.
Yeah. How do these people, how do you stumble onto that? Like, do you just post a couple videos that go viral and it's like kind of just dumb luck
Yeah.
that you,
I think it's luck, pretty much.
yeah, you just happen to get noticed? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
probably, honestly.
social media, it's hard to crack. There's like, I don't think there's like a code to crack it. There's not like
Right.
one way to like, this is how you get a lot of views.
Right. Because it's different, like honestly, each month it's so like, oh, what's the rave now? If you post a video and you're lucky and you start like a trend, like I feel like that's like when it's most likely to happen, or like you post a really, really funny video. But then again, these people like they're like the one hit wonder type of thing. You post a video, it goes viral, and then people forget about you a week later. So like how do you get into that?
And like the couple of people that manage to stay on top, I mean, that's just got to be kind of a chore. Like, what am I
Yeah,
going to post next? It has to be something good because I have to keep my
right.
viewers up. And like, yeah, I
You're
don't
like,
know.
I feel like when you watch those videos, people talk about like you're posting videos like every like 6 hours, just hoping that one of them like blows up again. And like you go like you look at all these people and like they have one that blows up and then they have all these followers and then the videos after that they have like very limited views on all their stuff. So it's definitely shot in the dark there.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you see somebody's got like most of their videos, maybe they have a few thousand, maybe like 10,000 views, and then they'll have one that's got like 10 million views, but then the
Yeah.
next one's back down to 5,000 views or
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Oh man. Yeah, those lucky
crazy.
people.
I don't think I'd want that stress though. Like my
So,
livelihood depends on my creative ability to post something, and like is the internet gonna vibe with it or not? Am I gonna have food on the table or because people like my
sure.
video?
Right. I always wonder, like, what do you have? Like, is that just like a side hustle or is that your main thing? Or like, what other job do you have that's like, you've got to have like some salary that you're living off of? Because what if like you never post another video again, like in the creator fund or whatever, this money that you're getting, like it just runs out and you don't have a job? Like, what, like, how is this working? Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Do you know who Daniel Mack is? Goes
Yeah.
around like asks people what do you do for a living in their fancy cars.
Yeah.
like, does he have a different job, or is he
Right.
like just making that much money from YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, and like endorsements or sponsorships, and he's just
Right.
chilling? Like, I don't
Right.
know.
Or like these people that like there's this one guy on TikTok, he's like, "What do you do for a living? Like, can I see your apartment? Like, can we
Oh
literally go to
yeah.
your apartment and look at it? Like, does he do anything else? Or like is he like a real estate agent or something like that? But like what's he doing? Because like some creep on the street asking people, "Hey, can we go to your apartment right now? And can I look at it?"
I would definitely say no. It's like
I would
some
be like,
random guy with a camera walked
"Oh."
up to me. Like, you
Yeah,
want to
and
come into
unless I
my
was like
house?
already rich and famous that people
Or
were
maybe I had security, or I don't know,
right.
bodyguards to protect
Yeah,
me.
for sure.
Unless I recognized it.
Right. I
Like
always think
if
about that. Like, what if somebody like walks up to me on the street and says something like this? Like, what do I say? Like, I always try to have like an answer prepared. Like, somebody asked me, like, also those videos, like, what song you listening to, or something like that. I'm like, oh, what if that happens to me today?
yeah. Yeah, I think about those. I follow so many of those types of people. They're like, for $20, can you name this US capital? And it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
like,
like yes,
no.
I can, but you just got me on the spot here.
Right.
Like,
Like that's one of those things like before you go to bed every night, you got to run through every US state capital so you're sharp or something like that.
I've started following this guy. He walks around asking people if they'll like shotgun various alcoholic beverages
Oh,
for like $5, and he'll say,
yeah.
or you can double it and pass it on to the next person. And then he goes like 10, 20, like, and it like goes all the way up to 80 or 100 before somebody will do it. And I
Mhm.
think like depending on the scenario, like is there a certain amount of money that I'd say, yeah, sure, I'll give it a try for like
Yeah.
a certain price. But also,
Right.
you've got to be going to the right place. Like, you can't be driving anywhere. If you're walking
Right.
home, maybe.
Right.
I don't
That's
know.
like those things I've seen those too, or it's like those where do you want to take a dollar or double it, give it to the next person? Like how much money like would I take without
Yeah.
doubling it? Like I'm not gonna take a dollar for somebody. Like I probably won't take $2 either, but it depends. I
Like
might take
$10.
yeah, I would take $10. That I would say.
Or
Yeah,
or
but
the people, like, have you seen the one somebody will like have like a McDonald's Happy Meal? They're like, if you can eat this in 1 minute, finish it completely, I'll give you $100. Like, would I do
I
that? Would I want to make myself sick for that? I don't know.
right. I could definitely do it. It depends on like I don't know. It depends on how hungry I am. I would definitely do it for money, but I'd probably throw it up right after. So
So I work at a high school, and for the homecoming they had the kids doing different competitions, and one of them, they
yeah.
this was horrible. I can't believe they did this at a high school. They had them chug 2 liters of orange Sunkist, and whoever finished it first like won $20. And one kid did it.
Only 20 bucks.
He did it though. Like, I mean, he was throwing up 2 minutes later, but like the amount of the carbonation, the sugar, like 200 grams of sugar or
Like
whatever.
I don't think I'd be able to eat anything for like a week after that. Like all the like chugging carbonation is just so difficult. We did one of those things too. Like our teammates always do some stupid crap like with running. So like you run. There was of course, there was a thing with alcohol for the people who are 21. So you run like miles and then you shotgun 2 beers and then you keep
Oh
running. And
yeah,
it's
beer
like,
miles. Oh.
that is disgusting. Or like they do the things with milk too. Like you run a while and you chug a gallon of milk. It's like that, like, and then having to run with all that in your stomach, it sounds absolutely terrible. I would think I would literally pass out after if I drank that much milk in a sitting.
That's horrible. That
Ugh,
would be
it's
terrible. Yeah.
disgusting thing about it.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. Well, I think
Mhm.
that's a good place to wrap up the episode.
Yeah.
Appreciate you hopping on.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Thanks
we
for having
debunked
me.
some myths, we crushed some stereotypes, we put the truth out there for the throwers of
Yes,
the world.
gladly, for sure. It needed to happen.
Thanks for listening. Please stay tuned for more episodes soon.